Just as things are heating up, George just shows up.
I know, I was on the edge of my seat. What do you think was going through Candy's mind at that point?
Oh, a total mix of emotions for sure. Excitement, apprehension, maybe a little confusion. And then later, she finds Albert in the library, obviously troubled. He's having a drink, trying to forget his worries.
And that's when they finally kiss. It's like a scene straight out of a classic romance novel. So passionate, so full of longing. But then Albert pulls away.
Full of regret.
Why do you think he did that? What's holding him back?
Well, remember, the source material hints at a deep sense of responsibility weighing on him. The Ardley legacy is a heavy burden. And there's the age difference, too.
Right, that definitely adds another layer of complexity to their relationship.
For sure. It makes you wonder if this is just a fleeting attraction or something more profound.
Yeah. And then, just when we think we're starting to understand them, the story shifts to Oxford. We meet William, who we later learn is actually Albert.
Living under an assumed name.
What do you make of that hidden identity? Why the double life?
It sounds like it's all about safety. Remember, there are people out there who'd love to see Albert fall. They want to take his position.
So he's constantly looking over his shoulder?
Basically, he can't escape the past, even at Oxford.
And speaking of the past, we can't forget about William meeting Candy as a little girl. The source material doesn't reveal much, but it's obviously important, especially with that brooch she wears.
Right, a tangible connection to their shared history. It makes you think about the red thread motif that keeps appearing.
It's not just a cute detail, is it? It seems to symbolize the invisible bonds between these characters across time and distance. Makes you wonder if they're destined to be together, despite everything.
A question that keeps us on the edge of our seats. And as if things weren't complicated enough, a telegram arrives announcing that Stair is alive.
Wait, alive? I thought he was.
Gone. Everyone did. It's a shocker.
What does this mean for everyone? Especially for Albert, who just kissed Candy and then took off for France.
Incredible timing, isn't it? Albert gets this news right before Candy finds him in the library. It definitely adds to his emotional turmoil. Makes you wonder if things would have played out differently if he hadn't received that telegram.
Right, like the universe is throwing in curveball after curveball. And then there's the whole storyline at Oxford with Vanessa Higgins. She's determined to study law, even if it means disguising herself as a man.
Talk about defying societal expectations. Vanessa is a true trailblazer.
And guess what? She ends up sharing a room with William, a.k.a. Albert.
Oh, this is too perfect. What a recipe for hilarious and possibly disastrous situations.
Can you imagine the chaos if her secret gets out?
It's a ticking time bomb just waiting to explode. But before we get lost in speculation, let's take a moment to appreciate how all these storylines are coming together.
It really is like a tapestry, with each thread representing a different character or plot point. And then there are those roses named Sweet Candy. There's so much more than just a romantic gesture.
Absolutely. They connect Albert's past with his sister Rosemary to his feelings for Candy in the present. It's another thread connecting past and present, love and loss.
Wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. It's these little details that make Beyond the Red Thread so captivating. Now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dig a little deeper, shall we?
Picking up where we left off, Candy and Albert's relationship is just complicated. I mean, that kiss in the library was intense, but then he pulls away, almost like he's scared of his own feelings.
Right. Like, what was that all about? Was it the heat of the moment, or is there something more?
Well, remember all that responsibility he carries. The Ardley legacy, the business.
And that mysterious red-haired woman. It feels like there's a whole other side to him we haven't seen yet.
Totally. It adds so much intrigue to their dynamic.
And then on top of all that, we get the news about Stair. Like a bombshell dropped right in the middle of everything.
The timing is wild. Albert's already dealing with his feelings for Candy. Then he's hit with this wave of relief and shock about Stair.
Yeah. It's like he's being pulled in every direction at once. On one hand, there's this undeniable connection with Candy. But on the other hand, there's his loyalty to Stair and the pressure of the Ardley legacy.
So how does he react? He takes off for France. Pretty classic avoidance, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Putting some distance between himself and the drama. But of course, it leaves Candy hurt and confused.
I mean, wouldn't you be? She's left wondering about the kiss, about why he pulled away, and now he's just gone.
It's enough to make anyone question his sincerity, for sure. And while all this is going on, we have Vanessa Higgins at Oxford, disguised as a man. That's like a whole other story, but equally captivating.
Vanessa is such a force. She's determined to break barriers, even if it means living a lie. It makes you think, how far would you go to chase your dreams?
Great question. And remember, William, a.k.a. Albert, is also living a lie. The fact they're roommates now.
It's bound to lead to some fireworks.
Hilarious situations, close calls, witty banter. It's giving me major Shakespeare in Love vibes.
I love that. But it's not just comedy. There's potential for a deeper connection there, too. They both understand what it's like to hide their true selves.
A short understanding that goes beyond the surface. And it's interesting how the source material draws parallels between them. They both challenge societal norms, but in different ways.
Right. Vanessa defies gender expectations by going after a law degree, while Albert finds freedom in his unconventional love for animals and nature.
Like they're both searching for a place where they can be themselves, free from society's constraints. But let's not forget about the Ardley family drama lurking in the background.
Right. The source material hinted at some power struggles within the family. Not everyone is happy with Albert in charge.
So, could his happiness with Candy be at risk? Could his past come back to bite him?
It's like a ticking time bomb, and now that Stare is back, who knows how the dynamics will shift.
Talk about a cliffhanger. It definitely keeps you coming back for more.
Yeah.
But beyond the plot twists, I think what really draws me to Beyond the Red Thread is its exploration of the human heart.
Absolutely. It's a story about love, responsibility, and the courage to defy expectations and forge your own path.
And the characters are so captivating, with all their flaws and strengths. Candy, so impulsive and compassionate. Albert, guarded and duty-bound. And Vanessa, with that fiery spirit, determined to break down barriers.
Each one brings something unique to the story. And as we see their individual journeys unfold, we're reminded that even with all the heartache and uncertainty, there's always hope, there's resilience, there's the power of the human spirit.
Well said. Beyond the Red Thread is more than just a love story or family saga. It's a reflection of the human experience, with all its messiness. Okay, we're back, ready to unravel the final threads of Beyond the Red Thread. So much has happened: secret identities, surprise reunions, and that love triangle.
And with Stare coming back, everything changes again. The stakes are even higher now, especially for Albert.
Remember when Archie rushes to Chicago to tell Candy that Stare's alive? Such a powerful moment.
It really shows the strength of their friendship, that incredible loyalty. It reminds you that even when your own life is a mess, those bonds can help you through anything.
But as much as Stare's return brings happiness, it also complicates things between Candy and Albert even more.
It really does. Think about it. That intense kiss, then the news about Stare, and suddenly Albert's off to France.
Like he's running away from his feelings.
Yeah.
Poor Candy. It must have been so confusing and hurtful. She's trying to figure out her own feelings. For Albert, there's the mystery of the red-haired woman, and now this.
It's a lot to handle, but you know what she does? She focuses on helping others, like comforting Jimmy, who's struggling with his own feelings about Albert.
That scene with Candy and Jimmy is so heartwarming. She's so nurturing, always putting others first, even when she's hurting.
It's true. Candy's empathy and compassion are really something. It reminds you that strength can come from being vulnerable, from just being there for someone else.
So well said. And while we're talking about strong women, let's get back to Vanessa Higgins, our heroine, braving Oxford, disguised as a man.
And now she's roommates with William, who we know as Albert. The chances of them finding out each other's secrets are huge.
Imagine if they become close friends, confidants even, without knowing who the other really is.
The irony is amazing. It's a classic case of what they don't know won't hurt them, but you know it can't last forever.
And the humor. I could just see Vanessa with her wit and rebelliousness navigating Oxford's stuffy world. And Albert, trying to keep a low profile, having all these awkward encounters.
It's like a comedy waiting to happen. Mishaps in the library, near misses in the dorms, witty banter late at night.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the tension surrounding the Ardley family. Remember the hints about those power struggles.
Right. Albert's position isn't as safe as it seems. Someone wants to see him fall.
Do you think his happiness with Candy is at risk? Could his past come back to haunt him just when things are looking up?
Who knows? And with Stare back, everything's even more unpredictable. Will this bring the Ardley family back together or just tear them apart?
It's the kind of cliffhanger that leaves you wanting more. But even with all the unanswered questions, this deep dive into Beyond the Red Thread has been incredible.
I agree. We've talked about love, loss, identity, and the courage to break the rules. And through it all, we see how strong the human spirit really is.
It reminds us that even when things seem impossible, there's always hope, there's resilience, there's always a chance for love and forgiveness. And like that red thread running through the story, connecting the characters across time and distance, we're all connected by invisible threads, threads of fate, of connection, of shared human experience.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we're left with a sense of wonder. We can't wait to see what happens next for Candy, Albert, and everyone touched by the red thread of destiny.
Who knows, maybe we'll get to explore the next chapter someday. But for now, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep letting those red threads lead you to unexpected places. Thanks for joining us on this journey. All right, ready to dive back into Beyond the Red Thread? Because let me tell you, these chapters are a real roller coaster. Romance, family secrets, historical intrigue, you name it. We're going to break it all down in this deep dive.
And what's really cool about these chapters is how they jump around in time, right? It's like piecing together a puzzle.
Exactly. And with each piece, we get closer to understanding Candy and Albert. That scene at the welcome party where they meet again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about palpable tension. You can feel the electricity between them.
Seriously, Candy is so happy to see Albert again, but then there's that mysterious red-haired woman and that almost kiss.